Hello everyone! Welcome back to yet another episode of the How's It Going podcast, episode 35. This episode is going to be a kind of serious, but kind of not in a way. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about drugs and alcohol. And yeah, that's just it for the topic. Before we get into it though, please, if you would take the time out of your day, go down and leave a like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated, and we'll feel really good about ourselves. Thank you. So, I think for the first part of this video, we should talk about what drugs can actually do to you, because there's different types of drugs. And I did a poll on my story, just to let everyone know why we're doing this. I did a poll on my Instagram story. Instagram's in the description if you want to check it out for all of us. I did a poll on my story, drugs and alcohol or bullying for the next podcast, and I think about 22 chose drugs and alcohol, which was surprising because hardly anyone does choose on my story, because I don't know, I'm just not very popular. But yeah, no, we move. So so I think we're going to talk about what drugs can actually do to you, in a sense. Like what the negatives of it, what it can lead to. And I'm gonna say, Owen, name one thing, like one of the obvious things, like the big thing that drugs can do to you.
Get you addicted to them.
That's the most obvious one. You can get addicted.
That's the obvious one, innit? You get addicted and then you can't give them up.
Get addicted. That leads to money
problems. Then you get in debt. Then you have to go meet dealers, and they're just.
Then you get in trouble with them. You can get in trouble with gangs.
Get in trouble with police if you caught with like the illegal ones.
It leads to different things. It's like I can't remember what it is, but it's like it's this effect where one thing leads to another, then that thing leads to another thing.
That's the butterfly effect.
No, that's not the butterfly effect. That's is it a domino effect?
It's like it's either the domino effect.
It's not the butterfly effect. Is like something happens one part of the world. Other thing happens in
the domino effect makes more sense because it's one event happening, another event.
Yeah, because of one thing, the next thing goes down, then the next thing, then the next thing.
They're both the same point. It's like something happens which leads to a chain of events that happen afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let's say the domino effect, it leads to that.
So
you get addicted.
Addiction,
you then get
money problems,
debt, you get problems with gangs and dealers and stuff, and then you just eventually get arrested. Or you end up getting really hurt or ill.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that can just lead from one thing. So there's addiction with that, and then there's other things like if people know you're taking drugs, or if you're drinking heavily, then they obviously, if you're your friends or family, they'll want to get you off it, and it'll make those people feel stressed because they're like, oh, my best mate, or you know, I just found out my son's drinking really bad, or my son's, you know, buying weed or whatever like that. But yeah, it's not more family, it's what it can do to your family without you knowing, because you might think, oh, if I just buy drugs, it's just affecting me, you know. I'll get addicted, I'll be in debt. But it's when people find out and they're like, oh my god, he's buying stuff that's going to kill him someday, depending on whatever. It's just that, like, it can affect a lot of people. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, moving on from that, another thing that came up on my Instagram was a mate of ours. He said we could talk about the sport enhancement drugs. You know, what people take, like, you know, steroids and stuff like that. So steroids could be like,
and that.
Yeah. There was an example of this. I don't remember this in WWE. There was a scandal where wrestlers were taking steroids.
Oh, that was bad. No, that actually was bad. Like, but it wasn't just. It wouldn't only just happen in like wrestling, for example. It had happened in things like the Olympics. Do you remember when Russia got done for that doping scandal where they were supplying all their athletes with performance-enhancing drugs?
I do remember that.
And then they got banned. They got banned for one of the games, didn't they?
That was bad.
Well, allowed to compete. Well, I mean, you know, that's what they do, don't they? like companies or teams will just supply all the athletes with drugs, so that they can obviously win
Yeah, so they
games
can
or
win
win
games.
awards and that. But then that just makes it unfair, obviously, for other athletes and stuff.
Yeah, because you get people who've trained for years, and you get people who've obviously trained, but they're just taking bloody drugs. No, and they're just trying to find a way out of it.
But it's like, you know, like when people think drugs, they usually think of all the really bad, serious, illegal ones. But I mean, like, people can get like addicted and misuse all sorts of stuff. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The thing is, when
Like-
people throw the word drugs into a conversation, I guarantee about 80% of people would think, oh, weed, cocaine, heroin, I don't know, whatever. But obviously, like, I sound really stupid, but like, obviously, paracetamol's a drug. You know, you could be talking about anything like that.
All like painkillers.
You could be talking about bloody Calpol if you're talking in that sense.
You've got yeah, there's all sorts of stuff.
You gotta be a
like
certain age
like-
limit to buy it all.
Yeah, in pharmacies and
You
stuff.
gotta be 18 to buy paracetamol.
I
And
had
all
to
them
go
lot.
buy some stuff from. I had to go buy. My granddad sent me up to buy some paracetamols when I was younger to Morrison's when I was like, I think I was like 13, but I didn't know about that age thing, so he dropped me off, and then I had to go to the that pharmacy next to Morrison's. I had to go in there,
Yeah.
so I was like, all right, can I have some paracetamols for my granddad? And then they're like, no. I'm like, why? Because of you're not 18 or you don't have an adult. I'm like, all right then. So I think that's a good thing, because some guy could walk in, ask for this, and this, and then he could use that
Well,
to.
you're not allowed to buy. You're not allowed to buy more. I think it's like you're not allowed to buy more than 2 boxes of paracetamol from one shop.
Yeah, that's just safety regulations, isn't it?
Yeah, they
Well,
refuse
you'd be a
you
bit suspicious
from
if
buying
you
more than one
you
box.
walked away with a big crate of antibiotics or something. It'd look a bit suspicious, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd look a bit bad.
Yeah.
It's strolling out of Morrison's with handfuls of packets of paracetamol.
You get stop. Excuse me,
Well,
sir. Can you
like,
empty
I
out your
mean-
pockets, please? I've got 5
Well,
packets of paracetamol.
People just get addicted. You can get addicted to stuff like that, though, can't you?
Get addicted to anything.
What about insulin?
Insulin. In that for
Well, what-
diabetic people.
That's for. Yeah.
Well,
No, but you
people
have to
can
get
use
that
it as
on-
drugs. It gives you a rush, so people, even if you don't have diabetes, do sometimes use it.
Yeah. People take all sorts of awful stuff.
There was they're using them little gas bottle things to go in.
Oh, those silver
guns.
ones.
What actually?
You literally
are
you
they?
see those all over the
It's
street.
it's compressed gas that you use for airsoft guns. They're the ones that fire automatically.
Oh yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
maybe you have to cock it every single time it fires automatically. There's a little gas canister in it, and people instead decide to suck the air out of it instead of actually using them. So
Bloody idiots.
it's their own way of.
What's the gas though? Is it CO2 gas?
I thought it were helium at
think-
first.
yeah,
I don't know why
yeah.
they're helium.
I think it's CO2 because that's what the actual airsoft things run off is CO2 gas. And they have little
Yeah, it must be
canisters
that
that
then.
they push in, but all they do is pop the top and inhale it, and that's it done. That's why I find them littered all over the street.
Hmm.
Yeah, you see all sorts and you don't even know about them.
I just think it's frightening how like like drugs can get any form of like drug can get misused so bad, even if it's not even
like a
even like an everyday thing that you won't even think. Like Calpol. Like it sounds stupid, but people like are addicted to drinking Calpol because it's got paracetamol in it.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just like what? But I mean, a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people usually do drugs because of influences.
yeah.
And
And
I'm
and
gonna
if you're
come
in a
on.
crowd.
And I'm gonna come on to a good question, saying, do you know in music, Luke?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think drugs and alcohol are what's the word? Like is it like sensationalized? So
I
like
think
saying you've got to do drugs, like it's
yeah.
popularized.
There's a lot of music videos with drugs in I've seen, the one that comes off top of my head is you know, Gucci Gang, where he has all that weed and lean. I think it's lean, that purple liquid.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he has all that. I think they do that, one, to look like they've got a lot of money because they've got to buy it, obviously, and two, because maybe it's not inspiring as a whole. It's like, you know, I can do this, other people can do that in another music video, because that'll get the viewers thinking, wait, does he do drugs, or is that just there? But I think a lot of people in the music industry have obviously had problems with drugs. You know, Eminem, he were addicted to those pills when he were filming 8 Mile. And
They were addicted to opioids, like painkillers.
yeah, Eminem were addicted
Like
to
that.
those. Snoop Dogg smokes weed. Obviously, we all know that. And you know, loads of people, loads of people do drugs, but it's how much they can handle it. If they go off on one using them, then that's bad. But if they have a good cap on it, then you know, let them do what they want. They're rich.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, like, music artists encourage people to take drugs by saying like, oh, look at me, I do all these tablets and that. You know what I mean?
Moline costs more than your rent. I know. I don't think.
No, but
they
it's
do.
stuff like that. It's stuff like that because
I don't think it's.
I
I don't
mean-
think the intention's there to kind of influence
I
people
think-
to take drugs.
I think they just do it because they think, like, some people think they're hard by like, oh, look at me, look at how many bags of weed I've got. You know what I mean? Like, but then other people do it because they're talking about like issues they've had with drugs, like Juice WRLD, for example.
yeah.
You know, obviously, rest in peace, my boy Juice WRLD. But
Sure.
he's obviously had, well, he did have really bad issues.
Yeah. Some
Drugs, didn't he,
rappers have problems in their youths with drugs, and then they'd rap about it in the music. That's not encouraging people to do them. That's just warning people
Yeah,
of what they
that's
can
what I'm
do. Yeah, that's like a
That's what I'm
warning.
saying. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was like saying it, when you go back and listen to all his music now, he was kind of saying, "Here, look, I need help." You know what I mean? I've been addicted to loads of horrible stuff, and it was unfortunately what probably led to his death. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got a question that people could kind of relate to. Do you think schools teach you enough about drugs and alcohol?
Well,
Not
saying
enough.
that, no, we did in my school anyway. We did one lesson in year 9.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was that day
yeah,
where we did all these
same, we all did.
activities.
Yeah, and you get every night you get a police person come in and talk about it, but it's the same video, the same
Anti-drugs
PowerPoint. You
day.
don't really learn much. So
Yeah, they just
I
say,
think they should do it as
"Excuse me,
part
boys,
of-
don't do drugs. You know, this will happen.
I
Don't
think
do
they
it."
should do it as part of like
Done.
the science, because you could learn about it and be like, look, this, you know, like in biology, you could learn about it and be like, look, this is what it actually does to like your organs and stuff.
Yeah, they should be teaching stuff like what drugs can do to you rather than bloody plant cells. I'd rather much learn about what drugs can do to you. It's something bloody useful.
But as awful as this is gonna sound, I probably know I've learned more stuff about drugs off of people my age than I have from schools and police and stuff.
That's the same with a lot of things. A lot of things in
Yeah.
schools.
Just they should be teaching you the hard facts, I think, like, because then if they did, it'd put people off doing it from a young age.
Yeah, if they didn't
Like, if they
sugarcoat
went
it.
in, yeah, they're like, oh, kids, just to let you know, I don't think it's a good idea doing cocaine on a Saturday afternoon. They should be like, look, you know,
If you're gonna do this, it's gonna
look
eventually
what
lead
this
to your
does
death.
you.
It could
saying
kill
that
you.
though, you look at all
Well,
tobacco
damn.
products. They've got pictures of like black lungs and stuff like that.
I-
Anyone else?
I didn't used
What
to
does
get
that
that.
do, though?
I didn't used to get that. So I was like, all right, if you're spending a lot of money on these cigarettes, my mum used to go shopping for my nan. She used to buy like a couple of packets about that big, and it cost about £100. So if you're spending £100 of your money on stuff with labels saying this is what it can do, and it's someone's lungs that look like a bloody mouldy piece
Well,
of
that's
liver, you know what I mean?
fiction, though.
It looks horrible.
But the
that's
packs, my
fiction,
dad's
though,
house,
and that's-
so there's packs of like lungs and stuff all over it. Don't bother it.
Well, exactly, that's what
They don't
I was
bother
gonna
anyone
say.
really who buys them.
Did-
You just look at
Who
No one takes any
cares?
notice of it.
exactly.
No one cares. Like when they show them awful pictures of like a neck and it's got a hole there,
Oh no.
Like,
Oh no.
who's
saying that,
actually gonna
You can.
who's gonna buy a pack of tobacco, look at it and go, oh god, there's a heroin picture of a man with black lungs. I better not smoke this.
Hey, no
It's
one's gonna
not.
do that.
They
No one's
keep
gonna
it
do that.
on
If they're addicted to
display.
cigarettes, they're just gonna buy it, take it home, and smoke it. They're not gonna look at it.
They keep it out on display
Exactly.
though. So you're like a little kid going to your shop with your dad and he buys some cigs, and you can see that picture. Imagine what it feels like for a child to look at that.
Also, I think
Well, they're not
cigarette
gonna-
companies
well,
who
that-
produce
that's what
them.
the point is, isn't it?
I think
the point is that you're gonna look at them and go, oh, bloody hell, I don't want to do none of that. You know what I mean?
Also, I think
Yeah.
the cigarette companies who make them, they would probably have to put pictures like that or do something like that because they'll be like, if anyone says, oh, you shouldn't be buying them because you know they can get sold to teenagers or whatever, they can be like, no, well we've done this to kind of deter them from not doing it, to turn them around.
Well,
That's not enough in my opinion.
No, it's not.
2051 estimate to stop smoking altogether. Come
What,
like a
to ban
smoke-free.
smoking?
Yeah, not ban it. Well, yeah, ban it, but like alternative options as they display it as. So e-cigs,
Like vaping.
vaping, that sort of thing. Yeah.
What, vaping? That's another one we didn't mention.
True.
Like, 'cause that's a recent thing with teenagers
Vaping's
and
is
stuff.
just
Yeah,
Everyone's
smoking.
vaping.
It's just as bad as smoking.
I initially
Well,
thought
don't
that it
give you
wasn't
any, like-
as bad as it, but
It don't give you any like lung like problems.
does.
It just gives you really bad addiction.
Popcorn lung, you never heard of it?
no.
No.
Clues
I thought you
literally
get that off
entitled.
fags.
I
Vapes, because you're
I thought you
breathing
get
in.
something like that off cigarettes.
You're breathing in air and water vapor and all the different chemicals that you shouldn't be, so your lungs start swelling eventually, and the popcorn, bang. That's what it
Yeah,
will
that's
eventually do
over
to
like
you.
that's if you were doing it for like
Years.
60 odd years constantly.
Yeah.
Like
Same with
every day.
smoking.
for
I-
about
yeah, I
1
thought that'd be
year.
over a long
My
term.
mum was
but-
smoking in her teenage years, and she stopped when I was born. And she said to me about a year ago that now, because she stopped smoking for that long, her lungs are probably just the same as they were before she started.
Well,
Possibly, yeah.
true. Well,
Possibly,
thing is,
but-
with cigarettes, they've got all stuff like tar in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You breathe,
Yeah, that's
breathing
what
in
gives you-
tar.
That's what gives you. That's what gives you lung cancer.
Thing is, with vapes, I thought it would just, if you had a lot of nicotine in it, the worst thing that could happen is you can get really addicted.
That's with vapes in it. You just get really badly addicted.
But
to
it
them
depends what
because
vapes
you
you
don't
have,
think they
though.
are really
'cause
bad.
You can
True.
get nicotine vapes and stuff like that, can't you?
Yeah, you can get nicotine and non-nicotine ones.
Mm.
So,
Still, it doesn't matter about the nicotine. It's like the sensation of inhaling it. That's what people can get addicted to. It's like that having that feeling.
I'm
Do you know
gonna,
what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ask this, and I don't know if anyone who's watching this has made it, all the way through.
This
If you have, thank you. But I'm gonna say, it might be a touchy subject, but is there benefits? Obviously, there is benefits of smoking weed. But is there a lot to kind of make it legalized? Like, would you say
So you're
it's
asking,
good to
so
legalize
you're
weed?
asking, should cannabis be legalized?
Legalize, yeah.
Um,
Like, not this day, not this at this
I'd
time,
say
but
no,
maybe like
anyway.
5 years in the future.
no,
I'd
I
say
would
no anyway.
say I would rather. Right, this is an unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
and
this is
it'll
just our
probably sound
opinions.
Bonkers. This will sound bonkers, but I think truly, cannabis does less damage to you than drinking does. And I'll tell
People
you why.
can
right?
That is
argue
a
I'll
fact.
tell you why.
You are wrong.
You're right, people can
I'll
argue
tell you
that.
why. Yeah, listen, I'll tell you why. So, when you drinking, it like alters your way of thinking, doesn't it?
That's what happens when you get
It
drunk.
slows down your brain activity, which is why that's why you feel really drowsy and you don't really know what's happening. Yeah, but whereas if you, well, I suppose it's different in it for different people.
True.
Usually, I'm pretty sure, whenever you smoke cannabis, it does the opposite. It heightens your senses. For some people it does, because that's why people get really paranoid and stuff, don't they?
Oh, well, no, I won't have any experience.
Well, I've never done it, but I'm just going off base. Like,
There is
know,
obviously
what
like
people say about
medical
it and that.
medically proved benefits, like if you deal with like, I think it's like epilepsy, like, or something like that.
Yeah, epilepsy. Apparently, epilepsy, Parkinson's, any form of anxiety issues.
Yeah, yeah. Have
well,
you seen
I
that
mean,
one
they
episode of The
prescribe it.
Simpsons? Have you seen that one episode of The Simpsons where Homer has to start smoking cannabis because he's got a medical condition?
I mean, I personally think it fully should be legalized for medical purposes.
Yeah.
Because it's unbelievable what it does to help people, especially with mental illness.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Like I say, like anxiety and like Parkinson's and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Parkinson's is more of a physical thing, innit? But it just relaxes your body. But like I said earlier, it's different for different people, which is probably why it's not legalized. Is because somebody can take it and it'll like be a miracle drug for them, and it'll make them feel so much better in themselves. Whereas other people take it and they become a nervous wreck and can't cope.
But then if you
They
take
can't
it,
handle it.
people abuse that power. If they made it legal, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that would abuse the power of it becoming legal.
No,
And
I
there's
don't think they
also
would abuse it.
and there's also the fact
Well,
of
people
selling
don't
it.
abuse fags. People don't abuse fags, do they? Because it's legal and it's been legal for ages. Like, you don't see. Well, I mean, there probably is people, but majority of people won't go to Morrison's and spend all the hard-earned money on buying tobacco or buying.
You'd be surprised.
A lot of people
surprised.
will do that. To be fair,
On the
A lot of
ferries, I
people
know a
will.
lot of people on ferries buy big boxes about this big.
Especially when
full
people
of
go
tobacco
abroad.
for about
Oh no,
€100
that's
on the
different.
ferry.
That's different because you're buying it because it's cheaper. That's why people buy it from abroad, because it's way cheaper.
Because of prices.
Yeah, that's what everyone does.
There's also the
Like-
fact about cannabis. There's also the fact of selling it as well. You know, when people sell it.
Well, I mean, people wouldn't sell it, would they, if it were legal? Because you get
Yeah,
it on
you-
prescription.
Yeah, you just get it.
And you buy it. I mean, if they legalise the actual smoking of it, like you would smoke tobacco, people would just buy it from a shop and then they won't be going nicking it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
talking about Morrison's.
They'd also have all the crime rates would drop
Yeah, there'll be no like
because there
drug
won't be
mules
any.
or all like that.
Well, I mean,
There are.
the
You'd
majority
be
of
surprised
the-
at the
the-
drugs.
the
Heroin.
majority of people who are selling drugs sell cannabis, don't they?
Yeah, that's a more normal one.
Like, it's easier to buy a bag of weed than it is probably to buy a bag of heroin.
Well, yeah, it's
That's
because
just
heroin's
my
more
opinion.
expensive.
Yeah, it's more
Isn't it? Yeah.
expensive and it's harder to make, and people can just grow it in the house. People grow weed in the houses, don't they?
You'd be surprised the amount of people in the UK that have little weed gardens and stuff like that.
I've seen on police interceptors so many times. Like people have like
I
weed
know
gardens
some
in their
countries-
houses.
Yeah.
In some
I'm
countries
pretty
it's
sure
legal.
Some countries they're allowed. No, they're allowed
Amsterdam.
to grow it. They're allowed to grow it, but they can't grow like 20 plants in the house.
Yeah, there are a lot of small.
When I went to
They're
farms.
allowed like
Amsterdam.
1 or 2 for themselves.
When I went to Amsterdam in the city centre, there was everyone everywhere smoking weed. They were selling space cake, anything with like weed in it because it was
edibles.
legal. Yeah, edibles, anything like that.
Well, I mean,
That's why when
Well,
I went- when I went, I
that's
got
the
told not
government's
to eat.
opinion.
When I went, I got told not to eat any
Amsterdam,
cake or
right?
anything like that.
Amsterdam makes so much money off of the weed industry over there that it's unbelievable. Like, because I don't, like I said earlier, when I said I think they should ban alcohol but legalize weed. Because think about it, if alcohol was discovered today, right, it'd be illegal and nobody would be allowed to have it because of the stuff it does to you and how addictive it is.
Drunk driving
Like,
and
people
drug
don't think-
driving, that's the thing to consider as well.
Exactly. Drunk driving.
I think drunk driving
Well, yeah, I
has more
suppose,
cases
yeah.
than drug driving. I'm not sure if I'm
That should
right,
that
but
should still be illegal because you can still go down and have a drink, but then you can't drive, can you?
yeah, you just
And it'd
have
be the same if
designated
they
driver.
legalise-
It's 2 pints in
weed.
it. Drunk to be classed as you.
I think the legal breathalyzer limit's like
2.5.
35 of what I've seen.
It's like 2.5 in it.
Yeah.
2.5 pints.
When my dad had 2
Um,
pints, he can't drive. That's what he said to me.
That's why a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
don't tend
it
to
will
go
be.
out and do it. That's why they stay at home, which
Well,
I think's
I'm
fair.
saying, I was just gonna say, do you know? Yeah, I think like You know when people say, "Oh, actually no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna ask this as a question." You know when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna have a drink," like a lot. Is that addicted?
Well,
What I'm saying is, what level of drinking is classed as an addiction?
where you considered an alcoholic?
Yeah, or you're addicted to alcohol.
I'll
Where
answer
you
this.
couldn't go days without it.
Yeah, being an alcoholic, in my opinion, is where you don't rely on
No,
it, but it's there. You feel like you need it a bit. Whereas
But
if
there's
you
a difference. There's a difference in there between wanting one and needing to.
if you're an alcoholic, like I watched a documentary about George Best, who was an alcoholic and a footballer, and he, in the documentary, he would be down at the pub in the morning, have loads of drinks, go home, do whatever, and then at night he'd drink more. So I think it's where you drink pretty much every day and in big-ish quantities. But if you're just saying,
Yeah.
if you're just saying, oh, it's Friday night, I'm gonna go home, have a glass of wine, and sit and watch a film or something, that's fair enough because you know you're having a decent time, you're having a drink.
Yeah, you're
But
managing
it's not-
it, aren't you? You're not.
Yeah,
not
you've got a
letting
cap on it.
control
It's not like you say, oh, it's 3 in the afternoon, I'm gonna go get a beer in the pub.
Yeah, you're choosing to rather than going, oh, I need one.
And
You know what I mean?
also, being an alcoholic, you skip things out of your life to get alcohol. So you could be like, all right, I'm gonna take a couple of hours off work to go get a drink.
Yeah, that's bad. Stuff like that's bad.
It's the point where
Yeah,
you
well,
rely on it, when you can't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
anything
yeah.
else
Going back-
apart from that.
Yeah. Going back to the question about cannabis, you said.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did we say?
Said, should it be legalized?
Yeah, but I mean, what did we all collectively say? So it's got health benefits for
But then again, it's got negatives like drug
chronic
driving.
illnesses and stuff. But yeah, but then it can be misused. So it can be misused.
It can be bad for you in
It can
high
be dangerous when you're
quantities
driving.
and
Yeah, but so can alcohol.
stuff. True.
Right. Well, that's like I'm saying, if alcohol was discovered today, it'd be illegal because of how dangerous it is to people.
I heard
Because
that
everyone drinks it or has a form of alcohol in the drink or food or whatever. That's why it'll never be illegal because everyone's doing it.
I learnt in a history lesson somewhat like people, you know, like way back in like older times that they drink alcohol instead of water because of like they want to have clean water, and so you get like 5-year-old kids drinking a beer.
Yeah, they drink rum and stuff, won't they? Or whiskey, is it?
Yeah, whiskey
'Cause all
or
the,
rum or
like-
spirits.
It was
That's
better
like
than
during
water.
Yeah, because the
Yeah, yeah.
water want filtered because of obviously they didn't have any technology.
It was literally you drink
so they'd all just
a
drink-
bottle of
they'd all just
whiskey.
drink ale and stuff like that.
You have a bottle of
Yeah.
ale, or you go and drink that dirty muddy water in river down there.
That's like pirates, innit? Pirates, you know when they say like pirates drink loads of rum?
Yeah.
It's because they go without water.
Yeah, they'd rather
You
drink
can't
that or
drink
bloody seawater.
You can't drink
Can't
seawater,
drink-
can
no,
you?
you can't drink
can, but-
seawater.
Exactly.
You can, but it's
No,
all
you
right.
can't. No, you can't. You can't drink seawater.
Yeah.
Kill ya. Does more. You'd survive longer without having a drink at all than drinking seawater.
You can survive for how many
3 days without water, 3 weeks without food,
3 minutes without oxygen.
3 seconds without leaving a
Freeze.
like on this video. Just saying.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
No, but yeah. So we keep going off because I want to stay on the thing about cannabis one because we can actually have a good conversation about that. I just think it would, personally, it would be better if cannabis was legalised and if they were gonna make alcohol illegal.
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I don't think they should make alcohol illegal.
Imagine the outrage
it-
that cause.
Yeah, true. There'd be outrage. There'd be protests. and
Riots.
Yeah, riots. Because people, obviously, people do drink alcohol and can still not be alcoholics. Like, you know, your mum could be sat downstairs having a glass of wine, and you know having a good time watching TV. which is which is good because you're enjoying yourself. But if you take the alcohol away, then life would just get a bit boring. You know, if you just sat there drinking water, it is good for you still.
Well, no, it wouldn't actually, because
I think it could. I'm just saying.
it wouldn't, because people would do other things to make up for that.
No, but in the
Like,
short
that's
term,
like
this is in the short term. So say tomorrow, for example, they say, all right, everything that's got alcohol in it, obviously that's drinks, not hand wash or whatever, drinks banned. All right, you can't drink it. If you're caught drinking it, you're getting fined or whatever. In the short term, that'd be really bad. But as you said, in the long term, they'd be like, all right, instead of going for a drink, I'm gonna go for a walk, or I'm gonna go get a salad, or I don't know, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
They'd replace it.
We're also gonna say.
But then you know
when you're saying,
Some people would.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
would.
that'd be a big thing.
There's home local
No, it
breweries
would.
everywhere.
No, it would.
People would make their own. It'd become, if weed was legalised and alcohol wouldn't, it'd be everything. would
Instead of
switch.
dealing weed, you'd be dealing
You'd
alcohol.
be dealing alcohol, yeah. You'd be dealing alcohol.
Remember-
you'd be
Deal a
making it in your
Stella.
Well,
basement.
it was illegal in America. In the 1800s or 1700s, alcohol was illegal. And do you know what moonshine is?
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
It's homemade alcohol that they make in shacks and stuff. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, no,
it's
well.
bad. Like, it's bad. It's ridiculously strong because people would just make their own and make it really.
Yeah,
Just
because they won't know
homemade
how
iron
to
in
there
level
and
the
stuff like that,
alcohol
they don't.
content of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what they would do is people would sell that, and they'd do stuff called moonshine runs, which is basically where they get a truck or a car or something, and they'd modify a car so they could hide bottles of moonshine in, and they'd run it across borders and stuff in America.
Yeah,
across the
it's
States,
like drug runs, isn't it?
because it used to be illegal.
Yeah, now it's
And
legal, and after you
Eventually
can
they
just go down the
legalised
shop.
it because everyone probably because everyone eventually started drinking it. That's probably why they legalised it.
True.
But yeah, I just think when you said earlier, Luke, that people would go home and go, oh, I'm gonna have a can of lager whilst I watch the England game. Well, people would then, when people say, oh, I'm gonna go have this joint, is that not the same thing?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like the same thing as saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go have a can of Stella." You know, it's like it's kind of the same.
Because I think if you manage it and you don't let it become an addiction, what's wrong with it? Like,
Yeah, if you can blatantly say, like, if you can come out and say, "All right, I can like have a cap on how much I smoke and how much I drink."
Most people can't do that.
Yeah, but a lot of
well,
people
they can't
can.
do it. They can't consciously do it, can they? They can't like. They won't sit there and go, "Am I addicted to this?"
Yeah, but I'm
They're not,
saying,
are they?
yeah, but I'm saying if they can come out and say, "All right, I can keep a cap on what I smoke and drink," then I think they deserve to, you know, be allowed to, you know, smoke
Well,
weed.
I mean, none of us can sit here and say to anyone watching this, "You should not be doing this and this and this and this,"
Yeah,
because it never works, does it? It'll never
No.
work because people will.
it'd just be
there's
another
always
drug
gonna be
safety
somebody-
video at school that no one listens to.
Well, exactly. We know you shouldn't. We know people shouldn't do it, and
But they're gonna go do it anyway.
people will, won't they? And it's just a matter.
People doing it right now. Like,
It's a matter
someone
of-
might be doing it while watching this. You never know.
It's a matter of how much you do it, and if it takes over your life and ruins it.
Yeah, you've got
It
to keep
doesn't
it.
ruin
You
it.
got to manage it.
And for some people,
It
no
doesn't
matter what,
ruin it.
that'd be the case. They won't be able to manage it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't, like I said, we can't sit here and say, you should not be doing this, 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 and this, because it just doesn't work. But if it doesn't ruin your life, and you don't become dependent on it and addicted to it, do whatever you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's gonna, it does ruin your health.
Over
Even
the long
drinking
term, it can. I think.
It can do. It will do because it's not supposed to be in your system. It's not a good substance in your system, like any of it.
Mm.
So we know that.
Hopefully you should know
And
that.
I'm sure there's loads of people who know that. But I just think for us to sit there and say you cannot do it, because people just won't listen. People will go, well, why not? You know what I mean? You always get that one going, well, why not? Why can't I? But I mean, it is bad. Like, people shouldn't do it,
No.
but you can't tell them not to because it just doesn't work, and society doesn't work like that, does it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you wanna
So, yeah.
gonna end it off now?
No, we'll go. We can go a bit further if
Wait,
you want.
how long has this
Enjoying
been going for?
36.
Oh, okay. Try not to make it an hour.
I'm enjoying this.
Try not to make it an hour because I've heard that some people
No,
don't
we'll
like it
go.
when it's like really long.
Mm.
We'll go for another 2 minutes then.
Alright then. I'm gonna think
Crucial
of a
2
question.
minutes.
I want to say a question. You know how there is obviously countries that have some aspects of weed legalized and probably some drugs legalized. Do you honestly think that is a good idea for other countries to have it legalized and England to not have it legalized?
I mean, yeah, they should, because then you won't have people smuggling it. Do you know, like, if it's legal in California in America,
Mhm.
and it's not legal here, you have people trying to smuggle it over the border, don't you?
Yeah.
People still do it
If
now.
they want it. Exactly, but if it was legal, you wouldn't have that issue of people trying to smuggle it, because you don't have people people trying to smuggle bags of tobacco over lines and that, do you?
No.
Really? Like, it's not as common. You wouldn't have people doing that. You wouldn't have high crime.
Yeah,
because,
crime would drop.
like, one of the biggest factors of crime is drug crime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because people are dependent on these stuff, and there's a high market for it. That's why there's dealers. And I think if you legalized cannabis, because it doesn't give you horrific health problems like cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, stuff like that. It can be managed. It's not as addictive. It does actually have health benefits, and it helps with mental illness. And probably, right, if you think about it, if they made it legal, if they made cannabis legal, they'd probably get a boom in the economy.
The economy
so
would go
many
up.
people would just start buying it.
Yeah, I think it would be good in that aspect because they're on about, especially now because the economy is low because of COVID. That'd be good. That'd be a good boost. It'd be a good boost for the economy.
Well, yeah, but I'm not saying
In that
legalize it
aspect.
because of COVID.
Yeah, I'm just saying in
Like-
that aspect, if it was, it'd be a good boost for the economy.
But also, it's actually, I think that this is gonna sound really bad. But I don't mean it in a bad way. But different generations have different views on this.
How's that bad?
So, like, our generation, I think our generation is
I'd say
like
we're mixed.
more. No, I'd
Some
say we're
people.
more like we're more accepting of it rather than against it. I'm not saying we all want to do drugs. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, we go, oh, I don't care. What's he doing? He's an idiot, innit?
Yeah.
What's that young man doing over?
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like when you
corner
go out
doing
with
all
your
them
family
heroin?
and then you see like someone smells weed and then you're just like, oh, I don't know, you're doing that. Well, they shouldn't be doing that.
You'll have that grandparent that goes, who's smoking that wacky backy?
Oh, they shouldn't be doing that.
No, but whereas us, we wouldn't really care, would we?
We're like, oh, someone's smoking weed over there.
But then again, you could say that's bad because that's like normalising it.
Yeah, that's like
We
neglecting.
view it
like,
as-
that's neglecting the negatives.
Mm.
Yeah, and then it comes around saying that people are educated about the negatives.
Yeah.
So you can never win in this topic, can you? Like, there's never.
No.
Never
There's
an
always
answer
a
to it,
negative
really.
to counter the
There's
positive.
no wrong or right answer.
Yeah, that's a good way
I
of
mean-
putting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because whatever you say is
Exactly.
right, there's a wrong, and whatever you say is wrong, there's always a right.
Yeah, there's always something to counter what you say in an
So
argument.
you're going in a continuous loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So rather there needs to be a big scientific breakthrough, or this is just gonna happen for years and years on end.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we're gonna end it off there. We've been going a very long time, usually like more than we normally do. So thank you for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've actually had quite a good debate out of this episode.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
It's been a good one.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed making this episode. So thank you again for watching. Leave a like, comment, share, sub.
All that.
That's all of them.
That's all we need to list.
That's all of them.
Go to the
check
link
out
in the
Instagram.
descriptions. Go to the descriptions.
Yes.
That's all our
Go
socials.
to the link. Go and just go and follow all them. You know
And
what I'm saying?
in the I forgot to mention this, but in our Instagram, in the description, there's a link in our bio that takes you to our Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and channel. So it's like a link chart, so you can just click on any of those, which
Yeah.
I think is good. It's a good improvement.
Yeah, so go check that out then. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
See you later,
next one.
guys.
See you in a bit.